Martin Scorsese's The Irishman was edited by Scorsese's frequent collaborator Thelma Schoonmaker, with whom Scorsese has made 21 films together. With her Oscar nomination for The Irishman, Schoonmaker is now tied with Michael Kahn as the most nominated film editor in Academy Award history. She is also tied as the most wins with her awards for Raging Bull, The Aviator, and The Departed. She recently spoke to The Wrap about her latest collaboration with Scorsese. Among the topics discussed was the surprise that The Irishman was as long as it was, and the fact that, unlike previous Scorsese mob films like Goodfellas and Casino, The Irishman is intentionally stripped out and simplified. That's something I find quite interesting, because there were complaints that The Irishman wasn't showy enough, it didn't have the energy of classic Scorsese films, there's no wild camera movements, there's no Gimme Shelter or rock and roll music played. There were suggestions that Scorsese is simply past it, but judging by Schoonmaker's comments, these were intentional artistic decisions. When asked about whether they knew The Irishman would be 3.5 hours long, Schoonmaker said, No, we had no idea. It just happened. When we screened it for the first time for Marty's general manager and producer, it was about 20 minutes longer than it is now, and I thought they'd say, it's great, but it's too long. But they had no problem with the length, and we were astounded. As we showed it to more people, I always asked, is it too long? And they would say, no, I want to see it again. She then spoke about Scorsese's intentions and goals for the movie, saying the director wanted it to be very simple and stripped down. No flashy edits, no dramatic camera moves except for the opening shot. He was going for a quiet film, and he was quite severe about that. He didn't even want Foley's, boosted sound effects. We all had to adjust to that. Almost all of his films are that way. Each one is a new challenge, because he doesn't want to repeat himself. This one was more contemplative to show what Bob is going through, and that was quite an adjustment for everybody. I was intrigued because it was so different from the kind of thing we usually do, but once we got into it, it became obvious how he was right to approach the film so simply. Schoonmaker was worried about the film going back and forward in time and how Scorsese didn't want the film to explain too much. He didn't want tons of voiceover because he was afraid it would look like a documentary then, she said. He was confident that the audience would stay with us and figure the thing out for themselves. She also said the film came together very quickly because Marty had conceived and thought it out so completely and so beautifully. We hardly changed the structure at all, which is unusual for us. Sometimes we completely revamp the chronology of our films, but this one came together really well. When we were shooting, I saw the end of the film first. I saw those amazing emotional scenes where Bob is told he's going to have to kill his best friend, and the ramifications of that all the way through to the end. I was stunned, and I thought, oh my god, we've really got something special here. That's great to know as you're working on something. The interview then ends with Schoonmaker being asked about whether it made a difference to know that the movie was being released on Netflix, and therefore people could rewind and pause the film as they please. It was a worry, she said. We love the theatrical experience, but I must say that many people have told me that they love the film on Netflix. It seems to be working, and nobody would give Marty and Bob the money except Netflix. Thankfully they did, and then they left Marty alone. The Irishman is available to watch on Netflix's streaming platform. Thanks for watching.